Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Nest of Guidance. Welcome back to Nest of Guidance. I am Robin and I am here with another tarot show and tell for you. I know it's been a little bit of time since I posted one of these, but I do have some new tarot decks that I've just acquired and I really want to share them with you. I will preface this one does involve a lot of skulls and teeth and skeletons, so if that is not your vibe, no hard feelings, no offense taken. I will see you in my next video, but if you're like, I'm down with that theme, then let's get into it. This is the Marigold Tarot, and I have a little bit of a history with this Marigold Tarot because when I first picked up this deck a year or two ago, it bounced right off me. I was like, whoa, I don't know if I can handle some of the imagery in this, but since I have grown and evolved and shifted myself in the last 2 years, I have grown to absolutely adore the Marigold Tarot, and I hope you do too, because it is actually one of my new favorite tarot decks, though I don't use it where I work to do readings because of its skulls, teeth, and skeletons. But let me show you some of the cards that are my favorite from this deck, and then we'll get into some of the other reasons why I love it so much, and also that 3-card reading from the Marigold Tarot at the very end of the video. So this is the High Priestess in this deck, and I just love her. I love her like nonchalant pose that she has, the pomegranate, the skull, that she is still in between the two pillars, but they're like two garlands in this one, and she's just very relaxed with this in-between energy, being the conduit of the conscious and subconscious, physical and spiritual world, and she balances them all kind of like, it's chill, it's casual, I am the divine channel that goes in between, and this is my job and I'm comfortable with it. And I just love that energy of this kind of casual, confident high priestess figure in this deck. The next one is the Chariot Knight. This might be one of my all-time favorite Chariot cards because it's just very comical and feels very lighthearted despite, you know, the skulls and the skeletons. But I just love that this chariot is enlightened with that halo around his head, and that he's riding a bicycle forward through the thick brush of life and wilderness. It's like, yeah, there's things growing on either side of me, but I'm enlightened, I'm clear, and I'm riding my bike forward, and doesn't matter what type of vines try to block my wheels, what type of pebbles might try to stumble me along my way. I am riding my bike forward to victory, and I just love that kind of energy of the chariot being on a bicycle. Is just it really strikes me, so hopefully it does for you as well. And then of course, you know, I'm a Virgo. I've mentioned this in my videos before. I feel like I always need to show the Hermit card, which is associated to Virgo, and this is the beautiful Hermit card in this deck. One of my favorite things about this specific Hermit card isn't necessarily the imagery, but the additional meaning for the Hermit that it provides in its limited and brief write-ups of the book, which is one of the things I'll get into, is that it says the Hermit is about investigating limits, which I absolutely love and resonate with, as it does tap into self-reflection and self-awareness. Part of that is investigating our limits. And I just love that that is one of the meanings for the Hermit in this deck. Now on to some of the minor arcana cards that I really love and that speak to me in the Marigold Tarot. First we have the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands is usually like resilience and defense, but I love that it's a bunch of sunflowers, so it's like, yeah, you might be like up against it, you might be holding your own, you might be needing to protect your boundaries, but it can still be bright and luminous and fun. It can still be exuberant like sunflowers. It doesn't have to be like a slog or a chore or draining. It can be a field of sunflowers as you're holding your own and defending your boundaries, which I actually love that energetic spin on the Nine of Wands. Next, we have probably my favorite Two of Cups in all of the tarot decks that I've seen, so much so that I could see myself getting a tattoo of this card some point in the future, which is this beautiful, it feels so heartfelt, it feels so connected. I feel like you can really feel the love of the two skulls in this Two of Cups for that partnership and enduring unions and love and romance, and it's blooming from their minds which is such a beautiful energy for the Two of Cups in this specific version of it. After that, we have the Ace of Swords. I love how the sword itself has the enlightenment around the handle with that little sphere, the stars in the sky, and the piercing of the rose, which doesn't feel like it's destructive. It feels like it's supportive, breaking through to support new blooming energy of the mind and the heart in unison with this Ace of Swords, which is so divine and righteous is what comes through. And last but not least, for the cards that I really love, is this 10 of Rings in this deck. Pentacles are rings, and one of the things that I'll say before I get into a little bit of the formatting of these cards, which you can already see, and the book, which I also love, is that the only minor arcana suit in this deck that isn't skulls and teeth and skeletons is the rings, because the creator said it brings in that physical material essence of the rings, which is the element of earth. So all the hands are like fleshy hands to denote that earthy materialness of the rings. And I just love how you can really feel and like this, like, wow, look at all the abundance, the prosperity, the material wealth and wholeness and completeness in the 10 of Rings, which is what the 10 of Rings and 10 of Pentacles is all about. So before I get into the little 3-card reading for the Marigold Tarot, I do want to talk about the guidebook, which is very, very thin, and the theme and the motifs of this deck, because they're so intentional and so beautiful. First of all, the guidebook is very brief. You can see here that the minor arcana just have like 1 or 2 words for each reverse and upright card. The major arcana has a little bit more information for it, but it's still very brief, very point form, very easy to learn in that way, because you're not trying to memorize or tune into an entire page or paragraph of information, which I also love. But if you really want to learn a deck the old school way, then that having just keywords to do so just makes it so much more straightforward and easy to like lock that information in. And the theme of this deck really speaks to me. With the creator says, like, he chose the marigold because it is a circular flower, and the marigold implies cycles, continuity, and eternity. And a little fun fact about me is that my favorite flower is actually the marigold. So when I saw Marigold Tarot, I was like, you call him a name? Okay, here I am, present. And then he says that all the skeletons and the skulls within the tarot deck are because we all have skeletons and skulls. It's a unifying image, and it also brings commitment to the eternal aspect of what's happening as opposed to staying on the surface, which I think is so incredible. And he says, like, the color schemes of the black, white, and gold, which you can see in every single card, is because it is the identifying of the clear intentions, and that gold is considered an auspicious or holy metal with divine properties. So that intention of divine properties, clear intentions, going straight to the internal source, is inherent within the creation of this tarot deck, which is just so powerful. And my last little fun fact that I love about this guidebook and this tarot deck is that the very last page of the guidebook says, "To fear no bones or reapers." And this entire tarot deck, except for the rings, is all bones and reapers. So it's like, yeah, it's full of bones and reapers, but don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. We all have skeletons. We all have skeletons. If you're a mammal, you got a skeleton. So I'm going to go into this deck now. Another thing with this deck, just to note as I'm holding it, is that the cardstock is quite slippy. So it does like to slip and slide and around in your hand, and the cardstock is also quite thin and flexible. So it does make shuffling a little bit easier to tune into. So I'm just going to quickly go into this deck and see what 3-card message the Marigold has for us in this tarot show and tell. And again, well, that's funny. The High Priestess is just coming out already, so I'm just going to honor her. I guess she was face up when I shuffled. So honor your intuition, tap into your psychic resources. Know that you can have divine clarity with that moon through what you're experiencing in your life right now, even if you feel like you're in the between, like she is and the High Priestess is, between the two pillars traditionally. So let's see what other two cards come forward. Ooh, then we have the Queen of Swords just came forward. So use that a lot of divine feminine energy popping up here. So use that inspiration, that psychic awareness, that intuition, that inner knowing you have, and put it forth with, I'm hearing like exacting power, but that doesn't have to be cruel or cunning or sharp in a negative way. The exacting power of the Queen of Swords is quick-wittedness, is assertiveness, is clarity in thought and communication with others. They're very quick to act, quick to speak, but in a way that is grounded and true. That clear intention that this deck holds is within the Queen of Swords. And then you can just like, with that energy, cut away the rest. And then one last card for this 3-card reading from the Marigold Tarot is, I feel you. Wow. Yeah, beautiful. Is the Four of Wands. Is the joy, the celebration, the harmony, the grounding, the balance, the stability, the milestones met when you allow yourself to take clear action and communication forward with that is first given to you by your intuition, by your psychic knowing, by your inner knowing, by that higher guidance as you're in between here and there. And then you take that action forward, have that clear communication, cut away that doesn't fit for you, and then you land in celebration, in harmony, in union, in confirmation, in milestones met and achieved. I'm even hearing like celebrating with family through that energy. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Take that little reading with you. This has been the Tarot Show and Tell for the Marigold Tarot, and I hope to see you in my next reading. I hope you have a beautiful day, and feel free to subscribe to become a birdie in the nest of guidance if it suits you, if it feels comfortable and safe, if you resonate with my readings, and I will see you in my next intuitive channeling. Namaste.